So do you have to offer compensation to a buyer's agent? I'm recording this in 2024, where laws changed around the country that affected the way commissions were typically done in real estate transactions. And I'm going to try to keep this simple so it's not confusing. Prior to the lawsuits happening in all the different states, MLS, or multiple listing services, used to advertise to the public what compensation was being offered to a buyer's agent by the seller as an incentive to bring clients to the seller's property. So now the new laws say that sellers don't have to offer that incentive to a buyer's agent at all. And in most cases, it can't even be posted publicly. The jury's still out on whether or not this is going to be a good thing for buyers or sellers or anyone. And let me explain why. Some people are saying it's great for sellers. Some people are saying it's not great for buyers. And if it's not great for buyers, then it might not end up being great for sellers, because in the long run, they want lots and lots of buyers to come to their property. Actually, in states where this has already been done and put in place, it was a state-by-state lawsuit. Not really much has changed in those states in the grand scheme of things. But here's essentially what you need to know as a seller. As a seller, you have three options with your listing. You can offer a buyer's agent $0 to bring buyers to your property. You can offer them a set amount of money as an incentive. And you can also offer them a percentage of the sale price as an incentive for them to bring buyers to your property. Now, that last option is how things had typically been done for years. And again, in the majority of transactions that are happening now, it's still sort of the way things are happening. And you may have heard a 5% total commission, a 6% total commission, depending on the state and the agent, is what was typically done. And that was evenly split between the seller, or the seller's agent, I should say, and the buyer's agent. And here's the deal. We want as many buyers as possible to come to your property. So here's what I would recommend that you do with the seller's agent you hire. Have them pull up all of the comps and find out what kind of compensation is being offered at those comps. They might have to do a little bit of digging with the agents of those comp properties, because it may not be posted publicly anymore. Though some agents will still post that as an incentive publicly for buyers to look and say, oh, I want to go to that property, but not all of them. Once your agent looks at the comps and the compensation at those comps, you can decide, do I want to offer 0, or do I want to offer a similar percentage to the other comparable properties? And here's what I'd say. Let's do a hypothetical here. You're the buyer. So you're a buyer going to look at a bunch of different properties, and you saw that most of those properties were offering compensation as an incentive to your buyer's agent. And then there was one property that was offering no compensation, or maybe a significantly less compensation. That means that the buyer, which is you in this hypothetical situation, is going to have to pay your agent that fee. And that might mean you can afford less. That might mean you end up offering less, because now you have this additional expense. So you as a seller have to decide. It's a tough decision. Do you want to sort of play in the same sandbox as the comp sellers, or do you want to be an outlier offering nothing or less? And think about whether or not that's going to make your property competitive, or as competitive as the others. Is it going to encourage more buyers to come to your property? The agents have to take them there regardless. They can't steer people in a direction. They'll decide. You can certainly take that risk and see what happens. You can always change your mind, because it's negotiable. As I said, things haven't changed much yet, but it could be by the time you watch this video. Bottom line is, these are negotiable. Your agents should advise you on the best path. And I always advise people that when deciding this, look at what you want your bottom line to be, not at what the compensation is, because that can always be negotiated during the process as well, not just during the listing. For example, a buyer might have in their offer, seller to pay 2.5 commission to my buyer's agent, but they come in at a much higher offer price than someone that's asking for 2% to their buyer's agent, but a lower offer price. So it could end up working out don't look at the commission price. Look at your overall bottom line, and your agent should go through that line by line with you on every single offer that you get. Okay? I hope this was helpful in determining what decision you might want to make regarding offering an incentive to buyer's agents with the listing of your property.